The Van Show, and today I'm talking to my friend, Don Tate.
Hey.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
I'm doing well.
All right. Well, Don, so I want to know a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I'm actually from Des Moines, Iowa,
Ooh.
but I've moved to Austin about 16 years ago, so now I'm a Texan. I'm formally a Texan.
Well, yeehaw. Can you give us a yeehaw?
Can I yell yeehaw? Yeehaw!
So, Don, you write a lot of books about African Americans during the time of slavery.
Yes.
What got you excited about that topic?
You know, I have an aunt. Her name is Eleanor E. Tate, and when I grew up, I had this famous aunt who liked to write stories for children, and she always wrote historical stories. And so, you know, I was inspired by her. My very first book that I illustrated was called Say Hey, A Song of Willie Mays, about Willie Mays, the baseball great. And I've just decided that, you know, I want to tell stories about little known African American heroes, because oftentimes those stories simply aren't told in children's publishing. And I think it's so important that all kids have books that feature characters, people that look like them.
Absolutely. That's so great. And so what's the book you got here today?
So this book is called Poet. It's called The Remarkable Story of George Moses Horton. George loved words. He wanted to learn how to read, but George was enslaved. He knew his master would never approve, but George was determined to learn how to read. When white children studied their books, he lingered nearby. He listened as they recited the letters of the alphabet. His mother wanted to help him, but she couldn't. She had too many chores to do. Instead, she gave George one of her most valuable possessions, a Wesley hymnal. It was a book of song. At night, when George should have been resting from a long day of work, he studied the book by firelight, and his eyes burned from the smoke. Soon, George could make out a few words. Over time, he could read entire sentences. Before long, George taught himself how to read.
Wow. That's so good, and that's just part of it, right?
That's just part of it. George went on to become the very first African-American person to get a book published in the South, and he published while he was still enslaved, and his poetry protested his enslavement. Can you imagine how dangerous that must have been?
That's amazing. And thank you so much for coming on, and tell us one more time, what's the name of your book?
Poet, The Remarkable Story of George Moses Horton.
George Moses Horton. Very excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.